Going into nationals, no player garnered as much fear as Kiyoomi Sakusa. Sakusa and his team in Tachiyama played as the #1 overall seed in the tournament, the top team to come out of Tokyo. We learned of Sakusa at the Tokyo training camp, where he was established to be a top 3 ace in all of Japan, a player just above Bokudo in skill level and on par with Karasuno's greatest hurdle, Ushijima. Later we learned Itachiyama defeated Fukurodani in the finals of the Tokyo prefectural tournament and got to meet Sakusa for the first time at the All Japan training camp. Here Sakusa stands with Hoshiyumi and Atsumu as the 3 players Karasuno will have to overcome on their way to the top. Atsumu is the reflection of Kageyama, Hoshiyumi the same for Hinata, and Sakusa the most skilled of them all. Going into nationals, it seemed inevitable that Sakusa would be Haikyuu's final boss. That assumption would later be shattered when Itachiyama loses after their third-year setter and captain has to leave the game with an injury. The reader never gets to see Itachiyama play a single match. After reading the manga's conclusion, I felt an initial wave of disappointment for Sakusa's character. He was built up to be so much, and in the end, we got so little. However, after a few rereads, I started to appreciate the subtlety of his character, and in this video, I want to investigate for Adate's purpose for Kiyoomi Sakusa, Haikyuu's forgotten monster. If you're new to Annie Essays, here we overanalyze anime and manga. Every video I make is under the belief that anime, same as literature and film, is worthy of in-depth analysis. Out of the 402 chapters in the manga, Sakusa takes the lead in one. Chapter 394. This chapter comes near the end of the Black Jackal Adler match, where Adatte delves into the backstory of Haikyuu's best players one final time. These series of chapters serve as a thematic declaration for Haikyuu. Here we get Kageyama's unexpected backstory, where he learns that if he continues to reach new heights, greater players will come to find him. We expand on why Osamu Miya decided to stop playing volleyball, why Atsumu pushed ahead, and now both find happiness in their diverging life paths. And for Adatte puts a cap on Bokudo's journey to becoming the ace. Sakusa's character opens with him talking to Ushijima back in middle school. Sakusa asks how he's gotten so good. Ushijima simply replies, he got lucky. Sakusa reflects on this watching Hinata and Hoshiyumi excel at the professional level despite their height. Throughout Haikyuu, for Adatte continues to reinforce the idea of polishing your skills. Every player has their own unique strengths and weaknesses. To succeed in the sport, you have to define your strengths while polishing those weaknesses as best you can. This means playing within your limits. Hinata could have never fulfilled the role of a traditional ace because his strengths don't align with what that requires. Hinata relies on pace and tenacity, and he leverages those to support his role as the greatest decoy. On the other hand, Hoshiyumi's tooling allowed him to play as an ace. Sakusa has made it to this level because of the unorthodox spin he creates through his flexible wrists and his willingness to receive serves. Sakusa's wrists are a natural gift, but he turns that gift into a weapon by extensive training. Likewise, he has polished his receiving ability, something that aces are often encouraged to ignore. As seen through Karasuno's match with Shiro Torizawa, we understand the logic behind hiding an ace on service receives to maximize build-up play for your best player. Sakusa doesn't have a physical presence that can match Ushijima and Bokudo, so he makes up for it by strengthening his receiving to make him a 3-dimensional ace in similar fashion to Hoshiyumi. Sakusa did not become one of the best wing spikers in Japan simply by luck alone. At a young age, Sakusa identified the tools that gave him a head start. It didn't stop until those tools became flawless. Aptitude played a role, but attitude carried Sakusa to this level. When Sakusa first meets Hinata when they both join the Jackals, he laments that Hinata better be prepared because Sakusa hates nothing more than careless players. For him, everything boils down to the preparation before a match, an understanding of your skills and constant effort to maximize your potential in order for the best result. An analytical approach to the sport, one that many, but not all, have in Haikyuu, which leads to a realistic understanding of how to compete. That doesn't mean luck has no factor in the results of a match. Itachiyama lost at Nationals because of an unpredictable injury. Notably, it happens at the same time Hinata gets a fever against Kamo Medai. While both teams lose, the core of the loss couldn't be more different. Hinata shouldn't have gotten a fever and only did because of his lack of preparation. Itachiyama faced an injury that, while unfortunate, is up to bad luck. Sakusa recognizes that, strives to perfect his skill, and understands that he has also made it this far because of luck. In Sakusa's lone chapter, he adds another layer to Haikyuu's dialogue on talent versus hard work, showing yet again that both are required if you're going to succeed at anything. Sakusa also adds another angle to the way of the ace, as his path to reliability is in large part through defensive contribution. Furodate adds a lot to his characterization in a short amount of time. In almost a throwaway line, we learn that Sakusa is a rookie for the Black Jackals, making his debut in this match. Sakusa took his time going pro, playing at the collegiate level long enough to earn a degree. He is the opposite of Hinata in this way. Hinata straight away went to Brazil to build up his body before trying out for the Jackals, devoting his life to volleyball. There wasn't another option for him. Sakusa takes his time, regardless of his high school status, before taking the leap to pro. It says so much about his character and the way he thinks things through and how he trusts the process. While I love how much characterization we get for Sakusa in this one chapter, that still relegates arguably the most talented player in Haikyuu to an incredibly minor role. What makes his character go from wasted potential to perfectly fitting is how Furodate takes a thematic swing with Sakusa's character and makes him a critical component of Haikyuu's message. Sakusa's role in the story reinforces the unexpected results and finality of sport. Every day, thousands of people project their expectations on what will happen in dozens of different sports. Media makes predictions, fans make bets, and players assure themselves they'll win, but the results of the game often leave all parties shocked. If it's so difficult to guarantee a win, if there's always a better team, then why play at all? This question comes up repeatedly in Haikyuu. Not just Suki, but every character offers up their own reason why you should take the leap and participate in competition. Post-timeskip, Haikyuu shows that the vast majority of players we watch don't continue playing competitively, and yet their lives are still better because they did compete. Some players might not reach their full potential, or even want to pursue that potential at all. One day, everyone will play their final game. What use is it to only focus on results when you only have a finite amount of time to participate? No matter what the sports media wants you to think, championships are not the reason to play, for sport is unpredictable, with results that few can ever see coming. You compete because of the preparation. Growth in sport can be followed, with strengths and weaknesses easily identified. Sport serves as a person's grindstone, helping them to sharpen individual ability and perseverance. Sakusa's status as a top 3 ace never got in the way of his preparation. When he starts something, he finishes it all the way. From perfect service receives to finishing his education, sport is a vessel for betterment. Despite how little time we get to see him, his characterization comes through clearly if you're willing to see the seeds planted by Furodate. Furodate could not have conveyed that idea clearly if we got a head-to-head matchup between Sakusa and Hinata, or even Sakusa and Bokuto. Being perceived as the best player does not make winning guaranteed. It is fitting that the team that wins nationals is one we don't see at all in the series, with players we don't know. Even though Sakusa doesn't win nationals, it doesn't invalidate the experience he gained from competing. While at first glance I felt cheated for not seeing Sakusa be the center of a main match, without his fading role in the narrative, it would have been impossible to replicate the true unpredictability of sport. His essential role thematically shows how thoughtful Furodate was and how Sakusa was used in the narrative. For a character who views purpose and preparedness above all else, it is a fitting way to use what ended up being Haikyuu's forgotten monster. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like Sakusa has a lot to say, and I thought I would finally just make a video about his character. I haven't seen a lot of videos about him. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.